Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we're going to be doing an achievement walkthrough for Shenzhen IO. This particular walkthrough is going to be specifically for the achievement for completing all the main campaign puzzles. This game is a code game, so basically you have to write code in the game in order to complete each area, and you also have to lay the chips down in order to and then write the code inside them in order to complete each area. You'll understand more when I start showing you each level. So basically, there's just a whole bunch of different things you have to code in the game, and I will just go ahead and get into it here. So you're going to go to Concept Mail, and you're going to have your welcome page, and then it's going to unlock this first one, which is called Security Camera, which is your basic concept area. Now, thankfully, you don't actually have to learn how to code in this game because we have solutions here for you. You can also go on Steam, and I'm going to have the link in the description. There are lots of different solutions for lots of different of these different puzzles. These can be completed in lots of different directions and lots of different ways. Obviously, it really depends on your skill at the game, specifically the code type of coding in the game specifically. What I've done is I've compiled, gone through lots of different people's solutions and try to compile the best ones into this video so you can have the easiest solutions. Many of the solutions in the guides on Steam and stuff are slightly different because the game was slightly different on Steam versus the Xbox Gamepass version. So keep that in mind. Basically, if you see here, I'm just showing the completed solution for this first puzzle. You're going to see the items on the left here, or sorry, on the right hand side of the screen are the items you're going to choose from to put on the board. And so you just want to make sure that you put the item that coexists with the one that I'm showing you here. So any of the P1 and X1s are going to be this top MC400, and then there's this other one that's actually a little bit different, which is going to have a ×3 and ×2 by it instead of the P1 and X1, and you're going to use that in some different areas. All the rest of them are definitely different looking. And you're never going to use these bottom four throughout this guide. You're only going to use everything from here and above. So this LC7, 200p, 100p, DX300, MC600, MC400X, MC400, and then the bridge. And you're never going to use the note either, since it's going to automatically exist in the levels that you need. So basically, this is the solution for this particular thing. And so you're going to have to input the code inside these little boxes, and so I'm going to leave these on screen for about 30 seconds each for each of this. So you want to pause in these points so that you can actually input those into the game itself. It's going to be important, I think, for you to play to bring this video up on a smartphone or something, so you can look at that while you're typing it in. Alternatively, you can go to Steam and you can go through all the guides like I did and try to find solutions and then copy and paste them. Honestly, I found that to be really, really tedious, and I got to the point where I just started typing it all in because it was faster. I will say to make sure to go to the control panel when you start the game and have it on 1920 by 1080, and also make sure that the auto format code is on, and then that'll make it super simple for you. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this. This is the security camera solution here. It's a very simple solution, and so just type these things in and you'll go forward. I'm going to turn off the mic after this and just show you each solution. Make sure to pause when those solutions are up so that you can see them, and then continue on once you complete that puzzle. There are quite a few puzzles in the game. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but overall, if you use these solutions, you will get every single puzzle correct the first time. When you're done with having it set up here in the box, you just want to click Simulate, and it'll simulate 3 times, actually 80, but it'll do the last 77 times really fast, and it'll actually put your thing up here. So once you're done with that, you can click Return to Email, and then you can maneuver on to the next one. And so that will be the replacement factory module. And so without further ado, I will get into that particular module, and I will show you that one. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic off here. I'm just going to show you each one. I am going to also click Simulate so that you can see that each one actually works correctly. And just make sure to pause while it's on the screen so that you can actually get the module right. And just remember that you're only going to have to use a handful of these things throughout the puzzles. So, with that said, have a nice day, guys. Alright, so in this particular spot here, you don't actually have to complete a puzzle. This will give you an extra achievement as well. So you're going to see where it says objective complete. You're not going to see that yet. You're actually going to have to click a button and it's going to say, are you sure that you completed a electronic game? And we trust that you did. Are you sure? Sure. And you just keep clicking yes and you will get the achievement there for that. And so you don't have to do anything in that spot. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now at this point, these are going to start to get a little bit harder, and you're going to notice that I'm going to show you the wires themselves. So you want to pause when you see this first, so that you can go ahead and put the wires out where they're supposed to go, and then we'll switch it to the other items, which are going to be the pieces that you need to put on the board, because you want to make sure you get these wires exactly correct. So just make sure to copy these wires exactly as I have them, and then go ahead and pause now. And when you're done pausing, you're going to pause again here to put up down these other pieces. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to do that now from now on, because that is going to have some wires that are behind the different items here. So just keep that in mind. So you should be on the color changing vape pen, and just make sure that you are. This one's actually fairly easy. So there's the solution for the wires, and there's your solution for the items. This one does have some wiring silliness, so make sure definitely on this one that you're going to want to pause to utilize it correctly. So this is going to be the first time you're going to see the little black box with the numbers in it. Anytime you see the little black box with numbers, you're going to have to input those numbers into each of these little slots on those types of boxes. So just keep that in mind going forward. Alright, you don't have to do anything at this point. The custom specifications, it says create a custom specification, but you don't actually have to do anything here. So you're just going to move on to the Aquaponics maintenance robot. And they're going to get quite a bit harder here, so they're going to be a lot more complex. But just keep doing what you're doing. This one's actually a really simple design. I noticed that a lot of the possibilities for this one, there was a lot of crazy designs, and found a good one. Keep in mind that the wires, like going behind the items, it's very important that they go exactly what you're seeing on screen. This is a very simple situation, but it's a little bit complex with the way the wires are going. And these code boxes are very similar, but they're slightly different. So just keep that in mind. Be very careful when inputting these codes. It's going to be a little bit complex, and it's easy to mess up. Another with an extremely simple design, despite the fact that it really kind of wants you to have a very complex one. Now we're getting into some of the most difficult designs to put together, so just keep that in mind and just take your time, make sure you get the wiring correct, and then switch to the other side where you're putting the the code in, and make sure you get that correct. So you will see that there's a black box with yellow lines in it. I'll have zeros in it. That is correct. You don't need to actually put any in that particular puzzle. You just leave them zero. Getting down to the last about 10 or so, so they're going to ramp up in difficulty here. So you're going to have to take real careful, it's going to be extra careful to make sure you get these exactly correct. When there's lots of parts like this, sometimes they will break a little bit, and so if they do, like say that this one breaks, just take it and maneuver it back over to the side so that it disappears, and then put a new piece down. Sometimes it seems like there's this little error that happens on this puzzle and later, so just you can just reset these by just pushing them over here and then putting it back where it is. And again, make sure you get these like the 3-bar ones correct. Like this is the ×2 and ×3, and this is the ×1 and the P1. So just keep that in mind, because like you'll see that this one is a ×1 and P1, so that one's here. That's the top here, MC4000, and then this other one is the 4000X. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you can just maneuver these to the right, and they will just disappear. Now the wiring again is really kind of complex on this particular one, so just be very careful with that. And then here's the solution. And again, this box here in the middle, you don't need to put any numbers in. Now we get to make a meat-based printer. You're going to see the number box with the little digits in it. You got to have to make sure to put these numbers in correctly in the right places. This one has a really complex background design, so you just make sure you get these correct. It's very important that you maneuver these wires exactly how I have them. Alright, this one is actually extremely complex, so you gotta have to really utilize the bridges and the other items specifically to ensure you get them in the right places. Make sure you put these wires down first. That'll help you place things correctly. Also, you can use the edge here as a guide for how to maneuver around this. So, and obviously the code is very complex in this one particularly as well, so just be careful when you're typing these in. Wiring setup for this one is actually particularly pretty easy. There's only this one little section here in the middle that's a little bit strange. Make sure to fill this box in directly exactly as I have it. It's a little bit complex in the numbers there, and also the coding is pretty advanced on this particular puzzle, so be careful with those. It's definitely one of the most complex puzzles in the game to this point, so just be very careful when putting the wires down here because it's easy to mess it up. And here's the solution again. Lots of boxes here, so it's easy to mess these up. Just ensure you get this code correct. You don't have to put anything in this middle yellow box, but in this brown box above, you're going to have to put numbers in. This one's actually fairly simple, despite the fact you're going to have to put lots of numbers in. There's the wiring setup. Pretty easy wiring on this one. And then here's the coding setup. Make sure you get these numbers correct in these boxes, and obviously the code in these three. They're very similar, but they're all different slightly. So. Finally, we're on the last puzzle of the main game, the main campaign, and so this is going to be your solution. The wiring on this one is actually pretty easy, except there's some little weirdness on this third, fourth, fifth row here, so just keep that in mind. And then the solution here, you're just definitely have to put a lot of numbers in, and these codes are pretty complex, so just be very careful putting these in. Pluses and minuses and X's obviously work just as normal as just typing X or plus or minus in the code. Once you get this one done, you will just click this and you will get the achievement for completing all the campaign levels. Then it's going to unlock the invitation here, and you will just be able to come down here and you can click this button holding it down. And once you complete that, you will unlock the new bonus area. I will actually do an achievement guide separate for those particular achievements, so you will see that here shortly. So thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. If this video helped you, please leave a comment down in the description if you have any questions or comments. I also put a link in the description for Steam, where there's lots of different guides for lots of different things. However, like I said at the beginning, be very careful with that because there's some complex issues with the game being slightly different on Steam versus on the Xbox Gamepass version, and because there's some different updates and stuff like that. And so some of the puzzles are a little bit different, and not all the solutions for each puzzle works. And I had to, kind of play with a lot of solutions in order to make some adjustments in order to get most of these to work. And then a couple of them I had to really just piece a couple of different things together, which was somewhat annoying, but I did find easy solutions for all of them for the most part. So if you like this video, thanks for stopping by, and have a nice day, guys.